off week. Can you kind of give us an update? What did you guys focus on? What was the the stressing points and kind of moving forward to the game this week?
Yeah, the 4 points that we talked to our team about was, number one, get healthy. So we've got to take that into consideration in terms of how we take care of our bodies, coaches, how we practice the players, strength staff, nutrition staff, training staff, just trying to get as many guys back, eliminate the bumps and bruises, the guys that have been out, trying to, rush those guys back, not too soon, but, try to get them back to our team. Academically, get ahead on academics. This is a great opportunity with no game this weekend, and our academic staff does a great job and a great chance to get ahead on that stuff as you start getting into finals and things late November, early December. We talked about our opponent. That's what we worked on. Those were our 3 main areas of focus during the off week. Made some progress. I don't think you're going to change anything and everything over 3 days, but we made the efforts to get that, to get some progress towards what we want, and we understand we're going to have to develop and get better as the season goes along as well.
Just touching real quickly on health, I believe you told Joseph last week Raylon Singleton was able to come back to practice. Things been okay in the last week or so, progression-wise for him? It
has been. It was good to see him back yesterday. Again, he practiced some for us last week, but saw him yesterday at practice, and it's great to just continue to add depth and experience. Obviously, you saw him make a play for us against Texas Tech, but just to have him back helps in the rotation as many snaps as we're taking on offense.
And then Darian Owens, I don't think we've touched on him since he went down the first game. Progress for him? Any potential landing date for him coming back?
No, it's all of those things are kind of touch and go in terms of when the guy's actually going to be able to play. He's starting in his movements and all those things, and he's been doing that. It's just a matter of true change of direction and being able to load weight and strike and all those kind of things. So he's progressing the way we thought. How soon he gets back, that's up to the doctors and kind of how he moves around.
Major, looking at Tulsa, they've got both quarterbacks from last year, but it seems like they're up in the air what they're going to do, whether it's going to be president or skipper. A lot of differences in terms of, it's almost like Texas Tech week where you had 2 quarterbacks and you're preparing. Is there one way or another in terms of different styles, or they when the offense, does it change much with either one of them's out there?
They both have their different set of skills. Obviously as a coordinator, you'll lean your game plan more to one skills. They still have their system that they're going to run. We've got to be prepared for both of them. We're working for both of them. We've got to be able to do exactly what you need to do against great quarterbacks. And that's put pressure on them, hit the quarterback, great coverage, disguised looks. It's a lot of the same things, but you do get a certain, you get a little bit more of this or a little bit more of that with one guy.
Looking at your team, Major, you're at the 1/3 marker, I guess you could say, 4 games into the season. On offense, Derek's done what you had hoped at quarterback. But as far as another guy, Marquez, what have you, just to have him in there now, and you lose 2 great receivers, and not to compare the 2, but he's done a really good job of filling in the gap that you lost from one of the guys last year.
Yeah. He's done an outstanding job. Everything that he has been through in the last 2 years to get healthy, to come back and play, is the same stuff that he needs to just continue to do to play at that high level. There's no secret. He has battled injuries, and he has come back from those things. He's kept his mind focused on what he wants and how he wants to play and what level he wants to play at. And those are the same exact things that he needs to just continue to do. And you get 2 off weeks, and it was great to see our offense go out there and have a great practice yesterday, and everybody's patting you on the back and telling you how great you are and all those kind of things. And our guys are still staying hungry and have a bright eye look about them, and they're playing with great energy. And it was a really good practice yesterday. So it makes you feel good after 2 weeks to see guys not necessarily buy into all the press clippings and just continue to work. And that's what Marquez has done. He had plenty of press clippings coming in, had setbacks, overcame them over 2 years, and has got off to a good 4-game start. And so he's ready to go finish these next 8, but it's one at a time.
If I'm not mistaken, during camp, you guys didn't necessarily limit him, but you kind of held back on how much maybe wear and tear part of it. Are you seeing the benefits of that in terms of not having a guy go through a really, really grueling camp, but be able to keep him fresh for the first month?
Yeah, I think that was a benefit from for all of our players. specifically our offensive player, our defensive players play quite a few snaps, but our offensive players, the indoor facility. I mean, it's one of those deals. It's a cumulative effect that if you continue to stay out there, and you can dive in for 20, 25 minutes of a practice, take them out of the heat, save legs, hydration, body mass, all those things stay together when you have those kind of facilities. So it's been a gift for all of our players.
But you guys got a lot of young people experiencing the Texas Southern game. Is that more of an opportunity for these young guys to get some experience, to get their feet wet, like we talk about in the red shirt rule? Or is it also an opportunity where there's some people maybe able to state their case for maybe increased snaps along the way?
Yeah, it's there's a lot of reasons why you put those guys in and develop your roster. Some guys work their tails off, get an opportunity to play. When the score's out of hand, it builds morale for those guys who constantly are selfless and in most cases paying for their own school, not on scholarship. So it's a great opportunity, and yeah, I mean that's what we talk about. Create trust with your coaches, create trust with your teammates, and be productive. And it's a game opportunity, a game rep to provide real trust, with your staff in terms of he can do this on game day, not in practice in a controlled situation.
Major, you start conference play this week, and I'm not sure if you look at the standings, and there's maybe some things that have happened that a lot of people might have not expected with the.
I don't pay attention to the standings.
Well, okay. Memphis has 2 losses, and Navy has 1, and obviously they were up, and Tulsa has.
Tulsa. It's our job, Tulsa.
Okay. Well, okay. Then so you don't tell the guy. I mean, you don't kind of. How do you prepare them for conference play in terms of what's?
They've got these. They can look at these all they want. Our job is when they come here in the facility at 2:45. It's Tulsa. The only way you make a conference run is you play one at a time, and that's our focus. Tulsa. Let's have a great day on Wednesday's practice, which is a Monday. But let's focus on Tulsa. It's 7 o'clock at our place. It's Tulsa.
And since you can't be with them 24/7, how much do you tell them not to look at that? Is that all up to them? Is that the culture?
We have discussions. Unit coaches do a great job with their positions, and it's just the old rule. Who do you sanction? Who do you listen to? Who do you allow in? Who has past experiences? Who has success at this business? Who do you really allow in? Whether it's a family member, whether it's a Twitter comment, who do you really allow in? Who do you give value to their statements? What we know is we've got to beat Tulsa. That's what we know, and so that's all our focus is on. That's all we're talking about as coaches. They dominated us last year, so our focus is Tulsa, and that's how you approach games, in my opinion, in our opinion.
And you had gone into the game before the bye week, just obviously wanting to win, wanting to accomplish some things, but after that game with the open day defensively specifically, did you learn anything, or did you go back from that part of the team and make changes, or did you feel like you were able to maybe answer some of the questions that you might have had coming after the Tech game?
Yeah, we went back and we looked at there's always a lot of different things, but what are the big things that we can focus on and know that you're not going to necessarily solve it in 3 days of an off week. It's got to be a continued focus week in and week out. Number one was tackling, especially tackling in space. We're going to play a lot of space teams in our league, so let's continue to drill tackling. Let's evaluate ourselves in terms of how we're coaching it. What drills can we do to eliminate some of the big explosive plays that have been missed off of missed tackles. Playing a lot of snaps, so we've got to develop more defensive linemen. We've got to increase the number of plays that all of our defensive linemen can play in terms of cutting back on the starters and increasing the second and third team guys so we can stay more fresh up front. And then lastly, when we have missed tackles and created explosive plays, it's been free ones, like the free one that we gave to Texas Southern late in the game. Those are the things that we have to eliminate. So we talked about tackling, depth up front of the defensive line, and when you're deep, and we're not giving up free things. So those have been the areas of focus. Are they all going to be solved? Were they all solved by Thursday at 5:30 when we finish practice? No. We got to continue to work on that and focus on that day in and day out. 6 hours of practice, 7 hours of practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I would love to think it's going to all be over with and we got it and it's over and it's done and now we're perfect. That's not the reality of it. We got to focus on it every day and battle those things every day and get better every day.